Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it is Friday. In fact, it's the last Friday of May, and I'm here to do a Friday Reads video and chat a little bit about the books that I have finished up in the last few days and what I'm currently reading and what I hope to finish before the end of the month, which is Monday, Memorial Day. So we've got a long weekend. In fact, we only have 3 school days left, 2.5 actually. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a half a day on Thursday. Of course, Katie is finished. She was only doing college classes this semester, and she's been finished for a while. In fact, her high school graduation was Tuesday, and we were so excited and so proud. In fact, if you didn't see my Instagram post, you can follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. I'll have the link down below at the very bottom of my description is where I put the links to my Goodreads page and my Twitter, which I rarely use, and my Instagram. So if you didn't see the pictures from her graduation, then be sure to check that out. Anyway, I am just excited for everything that I have been reading this past week. I didn't have quite as many finishes this past week because my last Friday reads I actually did on Saturday, and I did forget one book, so I need to be sure I remember to talk about that one book that I finished that I didn't talk about last week. And then this week, I think I have finished 5 more, not including the Dr. Seuss books. So I'm caught up though now. Today's the 28th of the month, and I just finished my 28th title, and I'm excited about that. So hashtag book a day in May is something that I've been doing with my friend Elizabeth Tyree for several years. We got started doing it when we were participating in middle grade May, which is officially retired as far as the cost is concerned. She was the one who started that whole thing. But of course, some of us are still using the hashtag middle grade May and still reading middle grade books for the month of May just because we like to. And so I started out the month binging, saying I was going to binge 2 different middle grade authors. I did read my goal for one of those authors, that was Sharon Creech. And then the second author, Gary Paulsen, I have not yet picked up the books that I plan to read by him. So that is definitely one set of books that I plan to do this weekend. I've got a duology that I want to listen to first, Nightjohn and Sarny. And then I have 5 other books that are all short. 2 of them, I did a little drawing last Friday reads to see which ones I would start with. And the 2 I'm going to start with are Tracker and Dogsong. So if I don't get anything of the others done, I will get that duology done and these 2. And if I get those done, I'll be perfectly happy with that. But if I have any time left, I will work on these others as well. So that is what I still have coming up as far as audio. Well, there is one other book. Because my other author binge this month was completely unplanned. In fact, I am officially going to say that this was my Mood Reading May. Mood Reading May was a challenge that was started by Becca from Hicks Picks Books. And when I saw her announcement video about mood reading, I was telling her that I have a hard time mood reading, but maybe I would pick up the last Miss Julia book. But instead of that, I got on this Allie Carter kick, and I have just been listening through her whole catalog. Now, I had read one of her trilogies in the past because the first book in the Embassy Row series is a Sunshine State book from a few years ago. So I had read those already, but I knew I wanted to read more by her, and I have literally breezed through her entire catalog now, with a couple of exceptions. One of them is a standalone that I would still like to get to. This is on Hoopla on audio, so I think I will have time to get this one done. This one is called Not If I Save You First, and I read a little bit about what it was about, and I've already forgotten. Anyway, she's just really good about writing spy stuff. And this one mentions, I'm just seeing words, Secret Service is standing out, President's Son, things like that are coming out. Just those words are jumping out at me. So that is one that I hope to do. And if I can get that one done within the next couple of days, then before the end of the month, I would like to do an author focus video on Allie Carter and just show you all of her series that I've been reading and chat a little bit about them and just kind of give you an overview. Now, she does have another duology that's very old that I have not read. It has something to do with it's a gaming kind of a duology. And so anyway, I don't need to go into detail, but most of what I finished this week has been by Ali Carter, so I'll show you those real quick. The one I just finished is her newest duology, and I'm hoping that there'll be more. I'm not sure. It's hard to say because I just finished the second one, and there was a good bit of closure. Now, when I finished this first one, there were still some mysteries that were definitely left unsolved. So I knew that, there was definitely another one, even if I hadn't already seen it on Goodreads. As to whether there'll be a third one, I don't know. But it would be really fun if there is. This is the Winterborne Home series, or I don't know, maybe it's just called Winterborne series. But this is called, this is book one, Winterborne Home for Vengeance and Valor. And then the second one is Winterborne Home for Murder, Mystery, and Mayhem, I think is either Murder and Mayhem or Mystery and Mayhem. I think it's Mystery and Mayhem because they're middle grade books. So you don't typically see a lot of murder in middle grade books. But these were pretty exciting. I really did enjoy these. In fact, I think I rated the second book 5 stars. I might even go back and rate both of them 5 stars. I don't know. They were a lot of fun. This, I think, is really her most middle grade series. Her other series could be read by middle grade, but I think they're probably cataloged YA. So it could really go either way, but this was super fun, and it is about this one girl, April, who was left, I think, at a fire station or a doorstep or something as a baby, or maybe at an orphanage, and her mother left her a necklace, like a key on a necklace, and a note saying something like, I'll be back for you, or something like that. So she's 10 now, and she has always believed that her mother was coming back. But things start happening, and then she starts to really kind of believe that her mother may not ever come back. But she ends up at this home, the Winterborne Home, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding the family, the Winterborne family. And there is one uncle that is left, and all of his nieces and nephews were killed in a boating accident 10 years prior, or maybe longer ago than that. And they're all believed to be dead. I think one had survived that, and then he's been missing for maybe the last 10 years or something. I'm trying to think. It's been longer than 10 years since the boating accident. It was when they were kids. And then maybe 10 years ago, the only surviving child, who was an adult, went missing. So now there's an uncle, and he's just about to have this man declared dead. Meanwhile, they're using this Winterborne Home as a kind of a group home for kids that don't have anywhere else to go. And I think that there's only maybe 5 kids there. So that's probably as much as I need to say. I will talk probably at least a little bit more about it in the video I do about Ali Carter. But anyway, this was just really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm happy that I got both of those done. I only have the physical copy of one of them, but maybe by the time I do my end of the month wrap up, I'll have the other one here. I've ordered it from the library. And then prior to that, I finished up the Heist Society series by listening to Perfect Scoundrels. And there is a Christmas novella that I have started on ebook of this series. It's 3.5. And now that I had already borrowed it from Hoopla, and I thought, oh, I should have waited till Christmas on that. But anyway, I've borrowed it now. It's maybe 100 pages. So I'm going to go ahead and try to work on finishing that this month as well. And then the last Gallagher Girls book, which is the 6th book in the series, very appropriate with the graduation gear, because the girls are seniors now, and I think they started out in 7th grade, so each book is about a different year of school for them. This is United We Spy. Then there is a little 12-page novella called A Gallagher Wedding, and really it reads as kind of an epilogue to this book. And spoiler alert, it's not one of these young girls that's getting married. I'll just say that much. But anyway, it was real cute. And if you read through the series and you want to read the novellas, there is one that you can get on Kindle. But there's 2 other really short ones. And the author very generously has put links for them in the description of the novella. So to read Gallagher Wedding, I just went to the Goodreads page for that book and read down through and scrolled down and clicked on the link, and boom, there was the book. And like I said, it was 12 pages long. But anyway, I was happy to read it. In fact, I was going to look here and just see if it was a part of this book, but I guess it came out later. It really is just basically an epilogue to the series, so it could very easily be tacked into this book, although it's not, apparently. Maybe in later editions it will be, I don't know. So that is what I've been reading by Allie Carter, and I have now finished or caught up with 3 whole series, with the exception of the ebook that I am still reading right now. And so hopefully I will do a video about those books pretty soon. So the book I forgot to tell you about last week is a cozy mystery by Nancy Coco. It's called Death Becomes Her, and it's about a woman who has a shop that sells products made with beeswax and different kinds of I don't know, toiletry items and things like that, cosmetics, and I don't know. Does she sell honey? I can't even remember. But I know that the woman who comes up murdered at the beginning of the book has a label in her hand from one of the shop owner's lip balms. It's lip balm. She makes lip balm that has beeswax in it. And so, of course, then that makes her a suspect, and it goes from there. We read that for the Killing It with Cozy's readathon, or book club, and there's a Discord group for them that it's hosted by Tiffany of the Beach Bum Bookworm, and Ro, who used to have a channel called Cozy Reads Mystery, and she doesn't have her channel anymore, but she hosts the Discord group, and they are a fun group of gals on there. And if any of you are watching, hi there. It's a fun group to belong to, and I will leave a link down in the description for the Discord group, because they are also hosting a summer cozy mystery readathon, which I talked about in my June TBR. So that's going to be really fun. Okay, so I think that is all of my finishes except for Dr. Seuss, which I'll talk about separately in a minute. But what am I currently reading that I hope to finish? Well, I'm 2 chapters from finishing Mere Christianity. I'm reading this with the group that is doing a read-along of this. Krista from Books and Jams is hosting it, and she has several different hosts. And every Sunday afternoon this month, they've been doing a discussion of each section of the book. So we are on the last section, and there will be a discussion video of that this coming Sunday. So I've got 2 chapters left. I might go ahead and just finish them both up tomorrow, or I might do one tomorrow and one Sunday morning. And either way, I'll be done by the time the discussion happens. And then I have carried this over for a couple of months, and I'm finally getting back into it and reading it, and I'm on track to finish it by the end of the month. This is Taran Wanderer, Book 4 in the Chronicles of Prydain by Lloyd Alexander. So next month, I have every plan to read Book 5, The High King, and be done with this series. It's been a really fun series. I have enjoyed it thoroughly, and it's kind of a medieval sort of there's kings and lands and all of that stuff, and it's a middle grade series, and I have really been enjoying it. And then another fantasy book that I have been reading finally is Racso and the Rats of Nim. This is book 2 in the Rats of Nim, or just the Nim trilogy. The first one was written by Robert C. O'Brien. You may be familiar with Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. That was my one of my all-time favorite books as a kid, and probably the first Newbery winner that I ever read. And so I didn't even realize until a couple years ago that there were sequels written by Robert C. O'Brien's daughter, Jane Leslie Conley. So far this has been really good. I am maybe not quite halfway. I've been reading 3 chapters a day, and I'm caught up. Did I read my 3 chapters this morning? Actually, I'm not sure I read them yet this morning. I have to read 2 chapters a day of this and 3 chapters a day of this. I think I read my Prydain chapters, and I haven't read this yet. Anyway, I will. And it's very easy reading and just very enjoyable. Then whenever I get all of that stuff read each day, then if I have any time, I've been picking up Greenwood by Michael Christie. I'm buddy reading this with Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. And we are really doing the majority of our buddy read of this in June, but we've both sort of soft started it. At least I have. I've just read, I'm still in the first section, but I will go at it full force when June hits, when I get done with all of these other books that are taking up some of my time. And then in my car, you guys, I have been listening to Sunflower Sisters by Martha Hall Kelly. I have it on CD here, but I just today got the physical book from the library, and I'm so happy to have this because there's 4 perspectives here. Now, if you have read either Lost Roses or Lilac Girls, I think there have been 3 perspectives. So this, I thought it was just going to be 3, and in my head I'm still thinking that there's only 3, but there's actually 4, and there's 4 different narrators, and I'm having a hard time with the there's 2 of the narrators are sisters, or 2 of the perspectives are sisters, and I'm having a hard time separating them. So I'm glad to have this, because what I want to do now is go back and just read a little bit from the sections of the 2 sisters so that I can figure out which sister is which, because one of them is a nurse, and they may both be nurses. That's maybe why they're confusing, but very good characters. They are nurses from the North, so they have met Mr. Lincoln, and he commissioned some things for them, and all of that. So very good characters. I just can't pick them apart yet. So then there's 2 other characters, though, which are amazing, and not necessarily in a good way, but wow, are they so great to read about. So there are, and the narrators for them are phenomenal. So one perspective is from a slave girl named Gemma, and her narrator is, I'm trying to read, Shayna, oh goodness, Small? Maybe it's Shayna Small. Very good, just perfect, and I just really enjoy hearing her. Her voice is so soothing, and you can just feel the emotion in her voice with this character. So good. And then the other character is an antagonist character. Her name is Anne May, and the narrator is I think it's Jenna Lamia. I don't know that I've ever heard her before. The narrators of the 2 sisters, Cassandra Campbell is one of the narrators, and then Saskia Marleveld, she narrated, I think, the at least one of the characters in both of the other books by Martha Hall Kelly. So I've heard her voice before, but the girl who, or the person, woman, lady, whoever, who narrates Anne May is so amazing. Jenna Lamia. So, and let's also just say that the character is written so well. I just can't say enough about how Martha Hall Kelly can write a despicable character so well. I mean, as soon as you think she is as bad as anyone could ever be, she gets worse. And then about 40% through, we meet her mother, and her mother is worse. And this character, Anne May, is a plantation owner. She inherited the plantation from her great aunt, I think, and her great aunt had left instructions that the slaves were to be freed when she died. Well, Anne May just tore that up and disregarded it completely. And her sense of entitlement and selfishness, she's so self-absorbed, and she doesn't even understand that, she doesn't get it, that she's that despicable, of course, because that's part of what makes her despicable. But I highly recommend this. I am right at 50% right now. I've got to finish this up soon because my CDs are a little bit overdue. They were either due yesterday or day before, and I can't renew them. So I really want to, now that I have this, I could just read it, but I love these narrators. So I want to keep up with this. I've got some paper sorting and things to do the rest of today and tomorrow all day. So I'm going to try to get this done so that I can get this back to the library before the library opens back up for after the holiday. So I highly recommend this. And also, let me just say, if you have never read anything by Martha Hall Kelly, this is listed as book 3 in the series, but you absolutely do not need to read the other 2. The first book is set in World War II. The second book is set in World War I. They have a little more connection. This one, I believe the 2 sisters are ancestors of the characters that connect in the other 2 books, but you don't need to have read about them or know about them, because this is a prequel. This is Civil War, and you could totally just pick this up. In fact, you should pick this up. It doesn't matter if you read any of the other books or not. This is just so fantastic. I'm loving it so much. And I think that's about everything except for the Dr. Seuss books. So Emily and I have been reading a Dr. Seuss book every day, and I thought, well, the list I've been going by lists about 45 books published by Dr. Seuss, and then 3 more that were 2 or 3 more published posthumously. And what I didn't realize is that that list only contains children's books and books that he both wrote and illustrated. There are quite a few other books that he co-wrote with someone else, or that he wrote and someone else illustrated. And then there is even another one that's been published, I think in 2015, that must have been published since that blog post that I've been referring to was published. So there's a lot more Dr. Seuss books than I realized. So I was just looking at the 45 books on the list thinking, okay, I'll read 31 this month, and why not just go ahead and read the other 15 or 16 next month, and I can say I've read all the Dr. Seuss books. But there's so many more that I didn't realize. And I think that we're getting a little bit burned out right now on Dr. Seuss. So I have a few extras checked out from the library because I was going to go on into next month. And I might just go ahead and double up. We've already read one today, but if I read another one today to Emily, and then we have 6 left, and we'll just read 2 a day to finish out the month, and let that be our Dr. Seuss project for this month. Then really there's probably enough Dr. Seuss books left that if we wanted to do this again, book a day in May next year, we could probably, have enough to read another 31 books without having to double up and read any that we read this year. I think there's almost that many. I haven't counted for sure, but I think there's quite a few. So here is well, let me first go over what we read this past week. And then I'll show you the ones that we have left still to read. So we read McGilligan's Pool and Thidwick, the Big-Hearted Moose. I don't know that I'd ever read McGilligan's Pool. This one I feel like I've read at least once. This is just a really good lesson on boundaries and why you don't want to let people take advantage of you. You can be nice without letting yourself be run over and taken advantage of. If I Ran the Zoo, I didn't love. It really kind of glorifies capturing animals just for the consumption of human beings to look at them. And I think we, as a society, have moved away from that a good deal, so that now most zoos, I hope, are there more for conservation. You can go and look at them, and that helps to support them and feed them, but they, for the most part, I think, were not caught just for people to look at. I could be wrong, but and there probably are still zoos, for profit zoos and all that. I'm sure there are. But I think a lot more animal places where you can view animals are moving into the conservation aspect as opposed to the zoo aspect of it. Then we, on the 25th, we read How the Grinch Stole Christmas, because what better day to read the Grinch, and so it's 7 months till Christmas on the 25th of May. Then we read Scrambled Eggs Super. I didn't love this one either because it's about this kid who's just going around stealing eggs from all these wild exotic birds so he can eat them. I'm not against eating eggs. I eat plenty of eggs, but there was just something wrong about it. And so I don't know. I just didn't really love that one. Then we read Dr. Seuss's ABC. I think this is probably one of the best ABC books that you could find. Definitely one of the most fun ABC books. Not boring at all. Just really, really cute. And then this was kind of appropriate since Katie graduated this week. We read today, Oh, the Places You'll Go. And when Katie gets off work, I might just read it to her because I don't know if she's ever read it. It's been a long time if she has, and it's kind of appropriate. Because it's about basically facing your future. You know, now you're out on your own, you're grown up, what are you going to do next? And hold on one second, I'm about to lose my box of books. Okay, so here's what we have left. Today we'll probably also read Daisy Head Maisie. This was published posthumously after Dr. Seuss died, but it was on the library shelf a couple weeks ago, and I went ahead and grabbed it, and then I realized it was so far down the list, I wasn't sure I wanted to read it yet, but so I've kind of put it off. But anyway, I think we'll go ahead and read it today. And then we also checked out The Cat's Quizzer and On Beyond Zebra. Now, you may have noticed, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the 6 books that the Dr. Seuss company decided not to publish anymore. And I honestly did not even know about that when I started this project. Us reading Dr. Seuss books every day had nothing to do with that. But I found out about halfway through the month about it. I thought, well, maybe we should go ahead and try to read those books just in case they're not available next year. I don't think our library is planning to pull them off the shelf, but I think that the prices have gone up for some of them, like on eBay and stuff, so I wouldn't put it past some people to check them out from the library and, you know, sell them. So anyway, these 2 are from that list, and I went in completely open-minded. And I would have to say that I'm not upset about these 2 being pulled from being published. I did not find them especially offensive. They just didn't sit right with me. And I'm sure that's probably part of the reason they decided to pull those. And, you know, so I don't think they're going to officially become banned books. It's just that the Dr. Seuss company has decided to not continue publishing 6 of their books. So we read 2 of them previous. I can't even remember what they were. And one of them I own is And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. And I'm trying to think what the other one was. But anyway, these are the other 2 that we haven't read. So I'm going to go in completely open-minded, see what I think about them. The Cat's Quizzer and On Beyond Zebra. I think I've read this one, but I don't remember anything about it. And then a couple of others. We just picked up a couple of these this week. I just picked this one up today, in fact. I had trouble in getting to Sala Salou. I don't know if we've read that ever before or not. And then The Cat in the Hat Songbook. I don't know if we're going to be able to read this one right now or not because it's actual music and we don't have a piano anymore. We gave it away several years ago. And right now our church is kind of shut down again because we had a few COVID cases in our congregation. So I would be able to, you know, next time we're at church and can have access to the piano, I might sit down and try to peck out some of these with Emily and sing some, but I don't know how soon I'll be able to do that. So we'll at least read through it, but probably won't be able to sing it. Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book. I'm pretty sure I've never read that. And then this one, I think, is the most recent. This was just published in 2015 based on notes and drawings that Dr. Seuss left. It is called What Pet Should I Get? I think we have read this one before. I think it came out in 2015, but anyway, it was on the shelf and we grabbed it, and so we will read it again even if we've already read it before. I mean, we haven't read it this month. And so I will also probably do a separate wrap-up of our Dr. Seuss project and just talk about maybe our favorites. I won't go into detail about all 30 some odd books, but maybe talk about our favorites, least favorite, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all for this episode of Friday Reads. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you're having a great day. And if you are in the States, have a wonderful Memorial Day. Whatever you decide to do, whether you go to the beach or whether you sit home, I hope that you have a good book to read. So for that, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.